friends, welcome to my channel Sushant. Today we are at the next topic, that is how to generate initiative from the openings, and we are going to learn how to choose sharp openings. All these videos I told you the lessons I am making are those openings which I have played all the time and many of my students play. So we will see how we are going to look at a sharp line, how we can choose such lines. E4, E6, the beginning of French defense. This opening I have played for many years. E6 is an opening where in many cases we get very sharp lines. There are some cases where the positions are not that sharp. Black has to wait for some time and then get his share of play. But that is with any opening. All openings cannot give the kind of position that we want, because the opponent also has choice whether he wants sharp play or he is looking for a positional battle. So white goes d4, d5, and c3, the most popular against the French defense, and here black plays the move bp4. The sharper continuation as compared to nf6 and d. Black is eyeing to go for a very sharp game. See, the g7 pawn is unsupported, so white tries the move qg4 in many lines. As early as move 4 there is qg4. qg4 can be played almost in any move in these kind of Winawer positions. After bb4 it's the French Winawer, and main idea is to put pressure on white center. White goes with the main move e5. Black attacks c5. Whenever the pawn advances, the base pawn should be attacked. This is called a pawn chain. The pawns are blocked by each other. This is the head of the pawn chain and this is the base. The base should be pressurized first. White goes a3, forcing black to take bishop c3. Bishop c3, although not a forced line, bf5 is also an interesting option. But this is the main line, bishop c3, bc, black goes knight e7. And now white plays qg4. This was one of the reasons white played a3 and snatched the bishop. Now see, here something has to be done by black. Black can either play g6, castle, or the line which we are going to see now. I told before also in my attacking lessons how to become a good attacker, how to improve our rating quickly. I said that one of the easiest approach is to choose gambits, means offer pawn in the opening for higher, speedy, faster development, and that helps us to generate or develop feel for such positions. So this is what many stronger players also do. They suggest to play gambits, use the feel of development, the initiative. So here black can go with the move qc7, sacrificing the pawn on g7. Not only that, after rook g8, even the pawn on h7 is offered. Two pawns are given up, but see, black's pieces are well placed. Rook on g8 has the open file, knight e7 developed, queen c7 eyeing on this file, knight goes to c6. Only the bishop on c8 will have d7 square, where also it will be fine. Let's see what are the ideas. Queen takes g7. This is so called the poisoned pawn variation. Black's play is very good. Rook g8. Queen takes h7. Now comes c takes d4. The first point. Now see, queen e5 check and queen c3 check, both are threatened, and it looks as though white is in serious trouble. See, white has well taken these two pawns, but see, black is going to get some decent initiative. At first it looks like white will be in big mess, but there comes the move ne2. Another interesting move is kd1. See, when I am making these videos, I am not looking at all the lines. It's not a complete opening repertoire. I am trying to show games where the attack is being generated, so I cannot cover all lines in these lessons. But eventually, as I am doing, you will see that I will try to cover many of the main lines, which will enable us to play these openings. And you can study these openings, use opening books specifically, like Encyclopedia of Chess Openings, Nunn's Chess Openings, Bedford Chess Openings, and specific books on French Winawer also. Now see, queen e5 will allow c takes d4 and white will be better. D takes c3 is not required so early. So black just goes and c6. Interesting trap. See, queen e5 is again threatened, protecting d4, and the trap is that if c takes d4, then knight d4, knight takes d4, then queen c3 check. See the serious problem with the white position. After qc3, rook hangs, knight hangs, it's a lost position. kd1 allows qd4 check followed by queen a1. bd2 allows queen a1 check followed by qd4 and black wins. So white protects the e5 pawn with the move f4. Black just goes bd7 and still see same cd is met by nd4. So white just returns with his queen back to d3 and now see d4 is indeed attacked. C takes d4 is the threat. So black goes with the move d takes c3. This move is almost forced. In all these sharp lines, we use the fact that if we know the theory well, we will notice that next few moves are always forced for mostly both the sides. And that is the thing that we want. We are testing the opponent. At the same time, we are trying to generate initiative. See, look at black's position here. Black's play is far more easier than white's. See, this happens to be one of the main lines played at very higher level. But see, practical chances, if you see, are very, very decent for black. Against the pawn, see what he has got. He has got this c file. He has got g and h files. These knights are splendid in the close center position. See, knights have a specific plan. This knight goes to f5. The c6 knight goes from a5 to c4. Bishop eventually comes to c6. After long castle, black wants to play d4. The whole plan is all about this. And in some cases, black plays f6 and breaks the center. As I have said many times, after breaking the base, it's turn to break the head of the pawn chain. So that is what black does. If you know all these plans in different lines, black does different things. Let me tell you here, there are 5 moves which are playable for white here. Those are all main lines. One is c3, trying to go mb5 followed by nd6, to which black has to play a6. There is rook b1, trying to use the b5. There is the main move queen c3. This queen c3 happens to be one of the main lines. Black should play the move nf5 followed by d4. These are the ideas I am giving you so that when you study these lines, you can look at these specific moves from the opening books. There is the move rook g1, idea going g4 when nf5 comes, white wants g4. To rook g1, castle is possible, qb6 is possible, nf5 is possible. b3 is bad over here because of knight f5. Soon d4 becomes a threat. Black will go castle. And there is another line which we must know, that is the move h4. White tries to use the h pawn, bring it to h7 and block these black rooks. If black does nothing, what will happen? White pawn will reach h7, this rook will go to h8 and this rook on h8 will become totally useless. So this is one of the ways for white to diffuse black's activity. But h4 is not the main move. There are some holes created by this move h4. You can see both g3 and g4 becoming peak. So today's game is about the move h4. This will give us feel of the position. Black goes long castle, h5 and knight f5. One of the most important ideas, whenever this knight moves now, let's say knight c3, then instantly rook g3 followed by knight takes c5 and c3 would be lost. So this knight is now kept on the e2 square itself. Queen c3 is generally, as I said, met by the move d4, queen d3 and soon there comes f6, ef and e5 also, breaking the whole center. See, this is something that black always wants. f6, ef, e5, fe, knight e5. Just to show you what black is looking at. And next move will be soon d3. Look at the center and the king in the center. All black's pieces are getting developed. This is the kind of play black is looking at. So all I am trying is to offer you ways to get initiative from the opening. Play these kind of openings which can improve our game quickly, which can make our game sharp, and we can get better results if we try to play this way. White goes h6 and now it's very important for black to play the move rook g6 because he doesn't want to make the g rook passive here. If h7, then rook h8. We will have this position soon. In the game, white played rook h3 first. Now he covered the g3 square. So black goes d4, protecting the c3 pawn. h7, rook h8. The black rook looks paralyzed, but see what will happen. At some point, black will have rook h7 followed by rook h7. it's not going to be easy to take the pawn, because see, after taking on h7, when just the black rook remains alone, you have to be very careful about the move g4, when there can be use of this pin. But black has other ways to generate play. See, one of the plan which I said often involves moving this knight and playing bb5, and there is one more plan, we will see that. White goes rook b1, improving his rook be8. Clears the d file, see, clears the second rank. Black often wants to play now, see, f6. What has b8 done is supported the rook on g6. When this rook moves, bishop can go to g6, and now queen and rook, see, both attack the pawn on h7. So this is one of the ideas. White goes queen f3. He wants to use the move g4 now. g4 followed by f5. Black plays qd8, making space for the knight, and after g4, knight goes to h4. See, play has become very sharp, and we can see that black's pieces are actually far more active than white's. Queen h1, attacking the knight on h4, and now comes rook g4. Black has regained the pawn, pieces are active, but white wants to create his own play also. He goes knight g3, rook h7, and knight e4. The whole plan was about this. Now knight is heading to d6 and rook b7, when we will see that white is almost winning. So what will happen here is, black see nicely creates play against the pieces which are see on the white squares. Rook on h3, queen on h1, knight on e4, pawn on c2, and king in the center. So he goes with the very strong c, knight takes e5, f takes e5, and goes with the move bishop c6. Now we can make out why black allowed the knight to reach e4. Now the first point is, if knight d6, then queen takes d6, e takes d6, bishop h1, rook h1, knight f3 check, and the rook on h1 would be lost. So black will be winning over there. Secondly, now white will be compelled to protect the knight on e4. White goes bd3, and now black plays the very important move kc7, avoiding any nd6 ideas, and now he can use the move knight f3 check, knight g2 check, or rook's penetration to the g2 square. There is another move which is very strong. White goes kf2, and now black goes rook h5, threatening rook f5 check. Rook f3, covering the f5, and attacks f7. Black goes qg8. The play is very sharp still, and see what is happening here. f7 got guarded, knight f3 was met by queen h5, so black is activating his queen and rook first, and then at some point he can consider the move knight f3. So bishop f4 covers or overprotects e5, opens the b1 rook. And now here I think many things can happen. One of the ideas could be rook g2 check, king f1, knight f3. Here black went knight f3 in the game, which is also very strong. Queen takes h5, rook takes f4. Black has regained the piece and is almost winning. qh6, attacking the rook. The rook doesn't have any place, so it looks like the knight would be lost. But after the move knight g5 check, it's time to resign. We can see that at the least the knight on e4 is lost. For example, if kg3, which is very dangerous, because see, knight takes e4 check, if king takes f4, then queen g3 mates. So basically after any king move, the knight on e4 is at least lost. So white resigned after the move knight g5. So I hope you will find the lesson instructive, because I am trying to combine opening ideas with this kind of game study. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.